Hello, this is a lecture about current, resistance, and resistivity. This is Sir Mike Angele Aloba, BS Mathematics and Science Teaching, major in Physics. So, face reveal. So, kita nyo na ako ngayon. Okay. So, what is our need to know for today? Electricity did not become an integral part of our daily lives until scientists learned to control electric charges. So, our discussions primarily focus on electric charges na stationary, hindi nagmo-move. So, you have Coulomb's law. So, charge 1, charge 2, separated by a distance. They are distance apart, right? And we say that the interaction between them can be calculated using the Coulomb's law, right? Q1, Q1, Q2 over R squared. Now, we will be talking about charges that are moving. So, pwede nag-move na dito. Hindi na lang separated by distance o iba-ibang distance na. So, and moving charges, we call them current. And yung mga scientists nila, hindi nila agad na-discover na yung mga charge, they can control electric charges. And when discovered that they could control electric charges, immensely, they figured out that currents can power lights, television sets, air conditioners, and refrigerators that we are using today. So it's very important, not just for those who would take electrical engineering or what, but for every fields, for our everyday lives, right? Because gumagamit ka ng light, gumagamit ka ng TV, gumagamit ka ng cellphone, gumagamit ka ng laptop, gumagamit ka ng refrigerator, gumagamit ka ng sasakyan, even automobile engines use current to perform invaluable tasks. How about in our human body? So, yung mga biology majors, hindi sila ligtas sa physics kasi ang ating katawan may currents yan. Today, we know that electric currents are responsible for transmitting messages between our neurons. So, bakit nasasabi ng bakit nafe-feel mo na malamig to or at nafe-feel mo na mainit ito? Bakit mo nafe-feel na masakit pag kinurot ka? It's because of current nagsisend ng signal yung mga neurons sa iyong katawan papunta, ay mga nerves sa iyong katawan papunta sa iyong brain, signal siya. So, without current, ay paralyzed ka. Okay, and that is the concern of neurologists. So, at the end of this lecture, here are our learning objectives. Pakibasa na lang. Okay, grade 12 students, I know they are fast readers. So, yan yung nilalabas kasi sa exam eh. Kaya, these are the coverages. So, it pays to know objectives. So, what is the electric current? Basically, it's the rate of flow of charge Q through a cross-section area in a unit of time. So, sinabi ko na, moving charges. Okay? When you have moving charges, you have current. So, here you have a wire. And you have a charge Q plus Q. And it moves here at certain time. So, charge per unit of time, we have a different unit for that. Ampere. And our unit, or I mean our symbol for current is I. The unit is ampere. And 1 ampere, named after some scientist, surname ay ampere. I-research nyo na lang. 1 coulomb per 1 second. Okay? And 1 ampere is a charge flowing at the rate of 1 coulomb per second. So, sa bahay nyo, meron kayong light, meron kayong bombilya, na may switch, obviously. So, pag pinatay mo yung switch, namamatay si bombilya. So, ever wonder kung gaano kabilis nag-travel yung electricity from that switch to that bulb? Very fast. So, yun yung drift velocity. That is the conserved drift velocity. Gaano kaya kabilis? What are the factors that affect the speed of the electricity flowing from point A to point B until it reaches your bulb? So, the average velocity of the charged particles in a material due to an electric field is known as drift velocity. So, yeah. So, you have electrons. They are moving electrons because they produce electric fields. And they are actually related by what? by the number of electrons, E, by the area of the wire, and by the drift velocity. So current is directly related to these four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. So you can solve problems involving drift velocity using these equations. So another formula na you might want to memorize. So what is the difference between conventional current and electron flow? So if you have a capacitor, so you know the formula for capacitance is charge per unit of voltage. And when you allow that to discharge, electrons flow from negative to positive. That's electron flow, when electrons flow from negative to positive side of the plate. How about the conventional current? Electron flows from the positive plate to the negative plate. So, merong time na madaling gamitin sa electron flow once we go to Kirchhoff's law. Okay? Meron ding time na mas madali sa conventional current. But in this lecture or in this General Physics 2, we will use conventional current. Not because of any fancy reasons, but because yun yung gagamitin natin sa mga example. So, para wala nang kalituhan, conventional current na lang. Although, kahit alin naman dyan ang gamitin mo, dapat ay isang sagot lang din makukuha mo. Electric fields and potential are defined in terms of plus Q, so we will assume conventional current, even if electron flow may actually be the flow. So, what is electromotive force? So, this is just another name for potential difference, voltage, source, EMF. That's electromotive force. And the unit of electromotive force is volts. Akala ko ba ang force is newtons? So, this is not a universal force. Okay? So, yun lang ang tawag sa kanya. Tinawag lang siya na force, pero hindi siya force. Siya ay voltage. So, ang unit pa rin niya ay volts. Okay? So, a source of electromotive force is a device that uses chemical, mechanical, or other energy to provide potential difference necessary for electric current. And what are some sources of our electromotive force? Power lines, batteries, and wind generators. So, if you see a battery, that's a source, that's an EMF. Sometimes, we denote EMF as epsilon E. Okay? So, later, pakita ko sa inyo. So, kung meron kang, sabi natin kanina, yung mga pinag-usapan natin kanina, these are electron that is moving, right? So, electric current. But let's relate it to water current. So, you have a hose, diba? Nag-travel si water sa hose, tapos meron kang pump. So, anong ginagawa ni pump? It moves the water from high to low pressure. So, yung valve mo dito, yun yung switch. Okay? So, yung pump, nagpa-pump ng water from high to low pressure. Tapos, si resistance, ang counterpart resistor dito ay yung constriction. Obviously, pag mas lumiit yung hose, mas bumabagal, di ba, yung pag-flow ng water from high to low pressure. Okay? So, yung water dito ay yung charges dito na nagmumove. So, what is actually, because EMF kasi, yun yung energy required to move the charges in a complete circuit manner. Okay, so remember that. Okay. The source of EMF pump provides the voltage, pressure, to force electrons, which is the counterpart is water in our analogy, through electric resistance or narrow constriction. So here, another analogy is yung mga tao naman yung battery, sila yung nagmo-move ng water from high to low potential energy. And then yung water volts natin, yung nag-symbolize sa light bulb. Kaya lumilinaw siya or nagiging siyang bright. So suppose you apply a constant potential difference of 4 volts to the ends of geometrically similar rods of, say, steel, copper, and glass. So it was experimentally determined that resistance varies with the material used in making a wire. So si steel, even though you apply the same voltage, they would vary in terms of resistance because of their conductivity. So, kasi great conductor si copper. When we speak of conductivity, it simply means that gaano kadaling mag-move si electron sa material na yun. Okay? So, mas madaling mag-move si electron kay copper compared kay glass. And if you want to know more about this, you can search sa Google conduction electrons. Conduction electrons. The current in a glass is much less than 4 steel or iron, suggesting a property of materials called electrical resistance. And high ang resistance sa glass. Because what is the relationship between resistance and conductance? Greater resistance, lower conductivity. Higher conductivity, lower resistance. Okay? So, knowing the factors, what are the other factors that affect resistance? First is the length. The longer the material, or the longer the wire, the greater the resistance. The area also matters. The larger the area of the cross-section of the wire, the less the resistance. Also, resistance depends on temperature, and the higher the temperature, the higher the resistance. Also, another one, last one, is materials. Ang sabi natin kanina, greater yung resistance kay iron compared kay copper simply because si copper sa periodic table ay, di ba, nandun sa part na yun, malapit sa mga semiconductors, then metals, si copper, di ba? So, alam ko mga, major din kayo sa chem. So, how about resistivity? So, sabi natin si resistivity is directly proportional sa resistance and depends also on the type of material. Resistivity, represented by Greek letter rho, is a property of material that determines its electrical resistance R. Recalling that R is directly proportional sa length. So, sinasummarize lang natin. Resistance is directly proportional to length but inversely related to the area, cross-section area between the wires. But resistance is directly proportional to resistivity. And you may write, what's the unit of resistivity? So you have the unit for resistance ohms. The unit for area is meter squared as a unit per length meters. So ohm meter squared per meter, that would be ohm meter. So the unit for resistivity is ohm meter. So here are the resistivity and temperature coefficients of some materials at 20 degrees. So basically, just need to know kung paano gamitin yung table. So anong resistivity, for example, ng gold? So ito, 2.35 times 10 raised to negative 8. How about the temperature coefficient of silicon? So our symbol for temperature coefficient is alpha, Greek letter alpha, which is negative 70 times 10 raised to negative 3. And our symbol for, again, resistivity is Greek letter rho, not P. Hindi yan P ha, Greek letter yan. Okay? But sir, what is temperature coefficient? For most materials, the resistance R changes in proportion to the initial resistance R naught and to the change in temperature delta T. So this is another fancy formula that you might want to memorize, that the change in resistance with respect to temperature that is subject to that certain cross-section area is given by this one. Delta R, alpha is the temperature coefficient, yung sa mga table kanina, and the R naught, initial resistance and then change in time. But remember, itong delta R natin is equal to R final minus R initial. Pwede nga. So the temperature coefficient of resistance alpha is the change in resistance per unit resistance per unit degree of change in temperature. So what is that unit for the temperature coefficient? Is 1 per degree Celsius. 1 per degree Celsius. Okay, so remember, just commit them to memory. Memorize nyo lang. So sample problems and their solutions, I think naka-upload na sa YouTube channel ko. Mike and Mick. So, thank you sa Section Newton. Meron akong 2 subscribers. So, thank you sa mga nag-subscribe, sa mga nag-like, and sa mga nag-comment. So, yeah. Feel free to comment and ask questions there if you have questions regarding this topic. That would be all. Thank you very much. This is Sir Mike Angele Aloba, and I hope you learned something new.